Look, guys. I really don't give a shit about some of these other people's videos. Okay. A lot of these white men's videos on YouTube are just irritating the shit out of me. The reason why I highlighted Undead Chronic's videos because he got right into it and got to the point, which is one of the reasons why I can listen to him, because he gets to the fucking point and he gets to the core of the issue. All these other white guys are out there in the fucking weeds talking about politics, talking about feminism, talking about the LGBT, talking about all this. I'm not saying that some of that isn't a factor in terms of diminishing men's motivation, right? Like you got women that are like, I want to be strong and independent. I want to be a boss bitch, right? I'm gonna avoid men that have their shit together because they can control me. Or then you have the ones that are like, I wanna get with a dude that's well established, but my money is my money, but his money is my money, and I get to spend his money however I want, right? But then I get to crush him in court and take the house and take the fucking kids. And guys are like, why would I want to sign up for that? Yeah, that's a fucking valid point. But that doesn't change the fact that the corporations that are controlled overwhelmingly by white boomers don't want to fucking pay you either goddamn way. They don't want to pay you. So it's a combination of all of this shit. It's not like someone, a singularity that you can point to and say, aha, that's what it is. No, it's a combination of shit. The fact of the matter is they literally vacuumed all the incentives out of the room to go out there and bust your ass and break your body for the average dude. The average dude. The lawyers, the doctors, the people with, all the terminal degrees, the most of them are going to be fine. They're going to be okay. But it's the average dude, which are the men that make up the middle class. Their quality of life has diminished. Point blank period. Nobody really cares about the people in extreme poverty, even though they should. And there's many people that float between poverty and the middle class. I shouldn't have to go all the way down to homelessness to be like, well, what about those people? Because we don't know what's going on with those people. It could be substance abuse. It could be an unwillingness to work, or they'd rather panhandle, whatever the fuck it is. I'm talking about the people that are like, hey, I went to school, or hey, I did this vocational trade. Like, where are the jobs? Where's the security? Where am I able to purchase a home with what I'm making, attract a woman, start a fucking family, and do that? Most people, if you give them that, most men, let me be specific, if you give them that, they will bust their ass off for you. They will give you 50% of their life as long as they can have a goddamn Ford F-150 truck and a nice house and be able to send their kids to college, or send their kids to increase whatever their education, send them to a decent school so that they don't go out here and just complete dumbasses and don't know shit from piss. Most of them will, if they can do that, and they can get married to a woman and it loves them and all that other stuff, and they can play, that sort of traditional role, most men will bust their ass off and be as productive as you want them to be. But you got to give them that much. And if you're not going to give them that much, fuck you and your job, and you can take it and shove it up your fucking ass. I mean, plain and simple. Not to mention the fact that we still got to fix all this other shit with the fucking court systems and the whole no guarantees and shit like that. Like corporations don't even like to take those type of risk. But yet they're expecting men in society to take that type of risk. They're expecting men in society, yeah, okay, so I commit to this woman, and she can just walk away, no fault divorce, take my kids, take half the fucking house, right? So I'm losing money there, losing equity, and she can go off and get with a less productive man, and I still gotta pay child support because probably she's smart enough to, oh, I don't want to marry him, but I want to go out here and fuck with this fuckboy. Like, the whole thing is broken. They would have to, I mean, aside from the having solid wages that actually reflect where we are in 2022, they would have to get to at the very least make divorce court and child custody fair across the board. At the very least. But if they really want to see men, be on some extra kick-ass shit and maintaining, solid wages, just again give the child custody and the responsibility to the men. Give the control to the men, not the fucking women with all their fickle nature and flim-floppiness and shit. Take the custody away from the women and give it to the men. And you'll see society turn the fuck around. But I already know that they're not going to do that, right? Because women are a voting bloc, and you got all these single women that the liberals cater to, and all this dependency on the state bullshit, and we're going to create these programs, and all this other bullshit. That's why they vote that way, And as far as I'm concerned, you know what I mean? Like what pisses me off about just everybody, and especially white people, white conservatives. Let me be very specific, especially white conservatives, is because it's like, okay, if you do this, this is what the consequence is going to be. And it's like they don't acknowledge any of the consequences. Like they just don't acknowledge any of the consequences, especially, and because I'm black and I see the racial bias, especially when it comes to black people. I'm like, you're gonna shut down that factory? I'm like, okay, expect crime to go up. But like a conservative will be like, well, just because we shut down the factory, that doesn't give people the right to act like heathens, right? Because they'll look around and they'll see like a population of black people, and that's what they'll say. But then when we get over to him, same fucking scenario. Let's say it's an all white community and the factory shuts down and whatnot. Then it'll be like, well, what do you expect? What do you expect? That's why people are doing opioids, and that's why they're out here self-deleting. What do you expect? It's like amazing how like 1 + 1 = 2 when it comes to them, but yet somehow 1 + 1 when it comes to black people is supposed to equal like 14 or something. I'm like, how do you not see that this is what the result of this equation is going to be? It's the same goddamn situation. No money in the hands of men equals bad. It equals broken society. It equals 5 compartments. And then again, you take all of the goddamn incentives away. And the thing is like, what really pisses me off about the women and the feminists and all this bullshit is if women, again, I entertain this shit. Captain Solo hates it. You know what I mean? He's like, well, shit, I'm just going to freaking, freaking Canada somewhere in Saskatchewan and going to live in a log cabin with my dog. If society is going that way. Me, I'm like, no. I'm entertaining the bullshit. Women want freedom. Women want, privilege and rights and all this shit that the women say. We want to be boss babes, everything. I'm like, fuck it, fine. But let's get rid of all this archaic shit that is predicated off of men providing for women and women basically being pregnant and barefoot and staying at home and raising the kids. Because y'all act like, oh, that's oppression, right? But then the women will turn around and then they'll be like, oh, I don't want to work, like freaking 5 years into working. Oh, I don't want to work anymore. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And if you can't make that happen, you're a brokey. You're a broke dusty. Like they want to be able to flip-flop between their roles. I'm like, no, bitch, this is not what we fucking agreed to. If you want fucking equality, here's some goddamn equality, and let's be equal across the board and all that shit. And that's what we do. Not that I personally agree with it. I like traditionalism and traditional patriarchy. And I'm willing to eat shit when it comes to men and traditional roles and all that other shit. I'm willing to eat the shit. I'm not up here bitching about what we got to do. Oh, women and children first. I'm like, motherfuckers, patriarchy. That's the way it is. Women and children first. But see, once women start going in there and fucking with the dials, I'm like, whoa. What do you mean women and children first? See, Cap's not willing to go that far. And me, truth be told, I'm not willing to go that far, but I'm willing to go that far hypothetically for argument purposes to draw out the fact that it's not really equality what the women are talking about. They're talking about freaking having the power of men, the privileges of women, and the responsibilities of neither. And just like the corporations, I say to them, fuck ye, bitch. Fuck ye. I mean, plain and simple. This is not rocket science in terms of why are people not motivated? Because it's not fucking fair. That's why. It's not even a matter, fuck it, it's not even a matter of fairness. Let me take that back. It's not even reasonable. There's not even a reasonable exchange anymore. Like, okay, this is what my responsibilities are. Okay, bet. Okay, and what are my rewards? Okay, these are my rewards. Okay, bet. I'm with that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if a man is not with that, then okay, then you don't have to play that game. You can go off and be a beachcomber somewhere and do some hippie shit. But for those of us that are like, okay, cool, this is what we get. Okay, fine. But once you start, it's just like the relationship, the social contract between men and women is no different than the contract between corporations and employees. Okay, once it gets to a point where, okay, you took away my health care. You took away, my benefits. You took away, paid holidays. You took away me being able to roll over, the holidays I didn't take into, some pocket of time, or being able to, cash out, all the days I didn't take. You took all that away. And then you reduce my wages to the point that I can't even fucking, live in a shoebox. And then you got the audacity to stare me in the face. Oh, why you not coming to work every day? Oh, I guess it's because you're lazy. That's what it is. It's because you're lazy. That's what the real problem is. It's in your DNA. Not because I get nothing out of this. Nothing. I don't get a place to stay. I don't get any pussy. I can't start a family. I can't date. I can't be in a relationship. And then on the other end, on the other extreme end, all the guys that are, and this is truth be told, this is why black men are hated by white men, because they're always perceived as a sexual threat. Notice, no matter how brokey black men are, no matter how broke black men have been with our collective reputation, nobody ever says black guys can't get no pussy. But yet white men, when they can't work, it's like all of a sudden no pussy. All of a sudden now we got white incels all over the place. All of a sudden people are shooting up schools and shooting up theaters and shit like that. Right? Because they don't have to, they were never in a position where they had to develop game and they had to develop other skills and charisma and all this other shit, which is, that's the wild card of dealing with women. It's simply being productive has never been enough for women. There's other variables. It's like the goddamn cuttlefish. Go on YouTube and watch the cuttlefish. The big cuttlefish, they butt heads like rams and they fight over the female, right? But then there's this smaller cuttlefish that's not as big as the bulls, and the small cuttlefish tucks one of its tentacles underneath its fucking, its face, because I think the women have less tentacles, the females have less tentacles, and then it sneaks past the bull pretending to be a female, and then gets next to the female, is like, psst, yo, bitch, I'm not really a female. I'm a male. She's like, oh, shit, how'd you get over here? Oh, you better not let the bulls see you, because they'll fuck you up. Oh, look at them. They're over there fighting like fucking Superman and Doomsday. The bitch is mine. The bitch is mine. They're slamming each other into fucking sea urchins and shit. She's mine, motherfucker. Right? They're doing all that. And here you got this Assassin's Creed cuttlefish that's like, yo, chick, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to get with this right here, right? He's talking a good game. He's like, look, I'm clever enough to sneak past these motherfuckers and get over here. So, you know what I'm saying? You want to have some smart cuttlefish babies, right? You need to get with a motherfucker like me. Yeah, but I mean, you're not a part of the cuttlefish hierarchy and the cuttlefish system. Yeah, but I'm right here, bitch. Like, I'm right next to you, right? Well, you do have a point. You did sneak past these big bullish cuttlefish. Oh, let me give you some tentacle, right? And then that's how that shit works. So the idea that there's this fixed situation in order to attract women, that's just simply not true. And black men and Ray Ray and Pookie and drug dealers, they like there's no honor in women. Yeah, that's another thing that men get wrong. Bitches don't give a fuck about where you get your money from. They just want to know, do you have it? They don't give a fuck about no goddamn white Jesus, Christianity, what is righteous and what is just, even though they hold themselves up as being the moral compass of society, right? They hold themselves up as being the moral. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. They go for whatever it is they perceive to be the biggest and baddest motherfucker at the moment. And that's just something that men are going to have to deal with. Trying to put women in a box and say, well, if I do this, then women are going to respond like this. That's bullshit. They don't. And black men specifically, in being shut out from the dominant Western society, they fucking figured that out. You know what I mean? And yes, we have another segment of black men that are the quote unquote educated lames that are basically trying to be imitation white men, which presents its own set of barriers like, oh, well, you're not connected into their networks and da 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 da, which is why they need to create their own fucking networks. And that's a whole nother conversation. But like Ray Ray and Pookie is unlocked like freaking, like I don't even know what you want to call it. Like he's unlocked, Super Saiyan status, the futures of the world. And so, this is what we're dealing with, and in terms of dealing with women and dealing with society. And so you're going to have people who are going to break the law. You're going to have people who are going to skirt around, survival, evolution, that shit waits for nobody. That shit waits for nobody. People are going to do what they're going to do in order to get over and get around and everything. And it may be outside. No, it will be outside the confines of the society that has been set up. People are not just going to be like, oh, well, I'm just in this position and I'm just going to accept my lot in life. And, I'm not going to produce kids, or I'm not going to this and I'm not going to that. Yeah, there's a whole power dynamic to that. The ruling elite, their children and their progeny will most likely continue to rule, and everybody else will be the proletariat. So cheating the system doesn't break the system, but it is a way to survive within the system. Right? But the issue is when the system was designed for white men, or at least so they thought, this capitalist system. And then you have white men who are locked into if I do this, and the women are going to respond like this, right? And then the things start breaking down because, the elite white men start closing doors and avenues, to the final outcome of the system that they set up, or the goals of the system that they set up. When they start shutting down the vehicles or access to that final outcome, white men don't know what the fuck to do. I mean, plain and simple. They don't know what the fuck to do, which is why, unlike black men, they focus on, like, they have no issue saying it's all about the money. If you notice, white men go right to it's all about the money when it comes to them. When it comes to us, they'll be like, well, I mean, black guys, I mean, you need Jesus. But when it comes to them, they're like, nah. Like, they're about to storm some shit. They're about to abduct governors and everything else. Right? But see, the thing is because they don't have any other way of doing it. Now, you got folks out here that, let's say they were white and they grew up at the lower rungs of white society and they had close proximity to, the black community or the underworld or whatever. You'll see them doing some scurvy shit, and you'll see them able to navigate. Quiet as his cat, Undead Chronic is one of them. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think, like I said, why do you think his name is Undead Chronic? Because he was a fucking drug dealer. And so he understands the shit. He's got more balance with the shit. They can move around. But your average, all American apple pie baseball type of white guy. All he knows is to show up at the plant. All he knows is to show up at the oil rig. All he knows is to show up at the coal mine, put in his hours, and go home and provide for his kids. And he thinks that's all he needs for his woman to love him. And when you take that away from them, they're telling you, the motherfuckers, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. And quiet as is kept, like I said, the black men that subscribe to the same, ideology, they don't know what to do either. Lames don't know what to do either, which is, goes to the lack of appeal, to lames. And again, mileage may vary. Your level of swag may vary. And I'm not saying every black dude that's an educated lame is a Steve Urkel, but, you get what I'm saying. You got those that are Tupac with a degree, which are extremely rare. And then you got those that are Steve Urkel, who don't know what's going on, which is a larger segment of the population. You know what I mean? But right now, bottom line is the incentives for men across the board. I don't care what race you're talking about. I don't care what your favorite color is. The incentives for men across the board are just simply not there. The long-term incentives, I do this, I build this, I generate this, I have my progeny. I mean, again, 50% of our existence on this planet is to procreate and, continue our bloodlines. You start fucking with the dials, you start taking that away, and men are literally going to shut down. And that's what we're seeing right now. And so everybody running around acting like it's some rocket science, as it pertains to, black men, or excuse me, not black men, all men not doing this or not doing that, or why are they withdrawing from society? Like the answers are staring people right in the face. And people want to, people want to sit here and they want to, go back and forth about, no, it's because we took Christ out of the schools, just dumb shit. Like I said, it's the same as those people, those all-American people that are like, they attacked us on 9/11 because they hate us for our freedom. They hate us because of who we are as Americans, not because of 100 years of U.S. foreign policy and all the shit that the CIA has done in the Middle East. Not because of that. Not because of putting despots in power so that we can get, America can get cheap oil and shit like that. Not because of that. No, it's because, they hate us because, they're Muslim and we're Christian. And they hate us because of who we are as Americans. Because our Americanness in and of itself is just so awesome that they just sit over there on the sand dunes, just seeing us on television, watching our World Series baseball games. Saying, fuck those Americans. Fuck them and baseball. And hot dogs too. Right? Really? Nah. That's not why. Nah, it's because we're over there fucking with their shit. But again, if you want to throw up a if you want to throw up a non-solution, then throw up a non-reality. Throw up identify a problem that doesn't even exist, so that you can come up with a solution that doesn't exist, or most certainly can't address the problem that actually does exist because you didn't address the problem. You identified a fictional fairy tale of a problem and then presented a fictional fairy tale of a solution. And that's why you get nowhere. These employers do not want to fucking pay people. They are beholden to their shareholders. That is what it is. And they want to make it look like they're increasing their profits. So they lay people off whenever, oh my God, there's a recession. Oh, let's lay some people off. And then when the recession is over, we'll hire them all back, completely ignoring like the stability of homes, the stability of communities. How can you have a situation like that and maintain, the Wonder Years type of neighborhoods? You can't. You can't. And then not only that leaves people feeling some type of way. And that's why you have people who are leaving corporate America and they're like, hey, man, I'd rather go fucking live the simple life living on a farm somewhere because at least there's some goddamn stability in that. Or they're saying, fuck it, fuck corporate America. I'm going to start a YouTube channel, or I'm going to go out here and be an influencer on TikTok or Instagram or some shit like that. Or, try to start my own business and everything, because corporate America has fucked up its reputation. And folks don't want to accept that fact. That is the reality. And the politicians, they're all beholden to the corporations. So, that you can't go to them, and then the stupid thing is because of people present all these non-solutions, when they go to the voting booth to vote, they vote for non-solutions on issues. And they don't stand firm and stick to their guns when it comes to the things that they, want to see change. So you got people in there that are voting for non-solutions, which isn't going to solve the problem. You know what I mean? They're like, it's like corporations are not paying people enough. And then they're talking about Mexicans crossing the border. I'm like, Jose is not working for these corporations. Those are the small businesses, the landscaping companies and shit like that. So that's not the problem. The problem is that these corporations really don't want to pay people, and you got to address that. Hell, they're even if you want to make the argument, well, the corporations are hiring Mexicans. Well, why are they hiring the Mexicans? Because they can pay them less than they can pay you, because being an immigrant and having no status, as an immigrant makes it so that they can abuse them and not pay them what they would pay an American. But instead of getting mad at the white person that's at the top of the food chain that's making that decision, you get mad at the Mexican. This is the whole problem with the shit. So you get people throwing up non-solutions, like example, like how many white Republicans do you think voted Republican because of QAnon or some bullshit like that? Not because they believe in any of the other things that the Republicans are talking about, but just because of like, really? So you think that there's this pedophile camp of like whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that some of these, elite people aren't into some weird ass, sick ass, eyes wide shut type of shit. But I'm saying people get distracted with stuff like that, as opposed to fucking with the reality of the fact that they don't want to pay people. That's why morals are declining. That's why communities are failing and homes are broken and shit like that. That's why, not because of the other stuff. And again, if they were paying people and then you dealt with that issue first, and then you would have the stability to go and deal with some of the other issues. But if you're unemployed or underemployed and you're dealing with those problems, I'm sorry, but you don't have the luxury or the ability to focus on these other, ancillary moral or morality type of issues that you want to bring up. You know what I'm saying? Again, you got people over here, focusing on, Balenciaga and whatever that dominatrix shit with the kids, as opposed to like, I'm like, how much money do you make? Motherfucker, you're about to get evicted and you over here talking about what Balenciaga has got to do. And I'm not saying that it's not an issue and it's not deplorable or however you want to look at it. I'm saying that the economic part is more important. And so you have a voting population that completely ignores the economic part. And then you got people who believe falsehoods about economics that aren't even people in economics that say stupid shit. Oh, like trickle down economics, and that's what it works. And so if we give the companies tax breaks, they'll actually not only hire more people, but they'll actually pay people more because they have more, liquid income. No, they're not. We've seen it time and time again. All they do is pay top executives more money. Because the top executives are like, see, the company is more profitable, right? And then they pay more lobbyists to try to get them more tax breaks and more tax cuts, which again go to the top elite executives. They don't go to you. Well, I mean, where has it gone to you? I mean, for all these people talking about trickle down economics, please show me where the money has trickled down in any fucking corporation that has allowed people, the employees for the corporation, not only for them to hire more people, but for them to go off and purchase houses. Like, show me all these people that got, freaking motorcycles and ATVs because of trickle down economics. Like, show me where the fuck this is going on. Y'all can't show me that shit. You just hop on a show like, Gavin McGinnis and Candace Owens and throw up, oh, see, trickle down economics. It works. And then a lot of you all ignore the fact that many of the people that you listen to, Tucker Carlson, multimillionaire, Ben Shapiro, multimillionaire, Candace Owens has a net worth of $1 million, Gavin McInnes, multimillionaire, and you listen to these people as though they're representatives of your problems, and they don't have your problems. All these people are multi-millionaires, and you think they're sticking up for the little man as opposed to being in the pockets of the very corporations that the fucking condemn, playing good cop, bad cop. So that people, will sit there and they will be like, yeah, see, they're speaking up for us, but yet no real changes are being made. You guys, you fall for the, what do you want to call it? You fall for the charade. You know what I mean? You fall for the, they throw up a little play for you, and you think that it's doing something, but when it comes to actual, effective policy making, nothing gets done. You know what I mean? Show me, just name a bill. Give me a bill that has really focused on benefiting the working class over the corporations. Just name a bill. I don't know. I'm telling you right now, I don't know. So you can come in my comment section like, yeah, see, you dumbass. No, I'm seriously, I don't know. But I'm saying, since you're talking all the shit you're talking, give me one. Put some examples, put some links that show me that, policies that have actually benefited, the working class. Show it to me, because I haven't seen it. All I've seen, and you look at the charts, all you see is corporations have been maximizing profits while the middle class lay stagnant. And the nail in the 2009 was bad enough, but the nail in the coffin is all this COVID shit and shutting shit down, which only allows the wealthy and the elites to go through, and they're making even more money, because when the economy goes into a recession or the economy declines, those that have wealth then come through and buy all the shit up for pennies. They buy it up on the cheap while people are losing their asses. They come through, buy it up, and then when the economy grows again, you know what I mean? They're sitting way prettier than you. Like, you're trying to catch up and make up for everything that you lost. They quadrupled their net worth due to that recession, and then the bull economy that might, and I say might, follow afterwards. But a lot of you all don't understand this. But anyway, I just need to give my 2 cents on all this, because I just see a lot of stupidity. I see a lot of white men making videos. They don't get to the fucking point. They go all around the mulberry bush. You know what I mean? I ain't got no time for that. Anyway, that's all I got to say. That's my video. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.